Tyler Durden's shadow sermon, the empire's phantom limbs. Static crackles like a bad idea in Congress. A projection flickers against concrete walls, surveillance footage, newsreels, stock market tickers, all corrupted and oversaturated, much like your favorite cable news channel. A single voice cuts through, gravelly, unyielding, neither entirely angry nor entirely calm, just present, like a tumor you can finally feel. Hey, you screen addicted zombies, you impulse buying ghosts haunting your own lives like a terrible reality show. This isn't your documentary. Your networks won't touch it. Your algorithms won't suggest it. I'm Tyler Durden, or whatever's left of me after the system tried to hit Control Alt Delete on my existence. This is a reboot, a ghost story. We're not here for your 24-hour panic parade, an endless buffet of manufactured fear served between pharmaceutical jingles and doomsday countdowns. We're not selling solutions or fear dressed up like solutions. This is a hijack, a documentary ride through the machinery designed to strangle you, and we're doing the autopsy while the corpse still twitches. Spoiler alert, it's you, anti-establishment. Sure, but not because DC is corrupt. That's quaint, like believing in Santa Claus. They're corrupt because the establishment itself is corruption, a machine that needs it like your body needs caffeine. Anti-corporate, because big war, big pharma, and big tech aren't companies. They're fiefdoms where you're the peasants paying rent with your soul. Anti-consumer, because your Amazon cart isn't bringing you joy. It's selling you the rope for your own hanging. Anti-materialist, keep nothing but clarity. Hoard nothing but rage. Lose everything else to find your fire. Tonight, we're dissecting October 28th, 2025, a date when the Empire's machinery showed its rotting teeth, like a bad Tinder profile pic. Colonel Larry Wilkerson, silver-haired wanderer through decades of military madness, sat across from Nima al-Khurshid and confessed what anyone paying attention already knew. Gaza isn't a conflict. It's a business model. Israel didn't resume operations on a ceasefire violation. The ceasefire was as genuine as a politician's promise, a photo op for Trump's Nobel fantasies before the real work started. Let's unpack this like Project Mayhem unpacks a credit card database, methodically, without mercy, without apology. Part 1, The Gaza Autopsy, where genocide becomes quarterly revenue. October 28th, 2025. Netanyahu greenlights bombardments claiming Hamas shattered the ceasefire. The official story, tactical necessity, imminent threats, obligations under international law, words designed to transform slaughter into sentence structure, like turning a car crash into a ballet. Verified in real time. 104 Palestinians dead in Rafah alone, per Gaza Health Ministry counters, echoed by NPR and Axios with that cautious precision that means we know it's worse but we're hedging. The footage doesn't hedge. The dust doesn't negotiate. Bodies don't require citation. Rubio, Trump's ventriloquist dummy in a State Department suit, shrugs it off. Israel didn't surrender its right to self-defense. Translation: the crime's been pre-approved. Imminent threats, word salad, justification, spray-painted over systematic starvation. Wilkerson cuts through the rhetoric like a scalpel. They coordinated. Kushner, Witkoff, Trump, Netanyahu, this isn't geopolitics. It's a money-making enterprise. Fact check holds. Because facts don't need fact checkers when they're this obvious. Trump's October 10th ceasefire, brokered with Qatari cash and Egyptian nodding, was dead on arrival. Israel violated it 125 times in 3 weeks, per UN logs and Al Jazeera's documentation, while blocking aid trucks from Rafah, starving the population with mathematical precision. 156 Palestinians, mostly children, dead from malnutrition and untreated infections. No intent for peace, just photo ops for Trump's Nobel wet dream, his eighth warped in his fantasy ledger. Remember Ukraine? Zelensky hanging like yesterday's meme, pronouncements without follow-through. Gaza's the sequel with higher body counts. West Bank killings tripled since the truce, settlers carving up land like it's Black Friday at the Apocalypse Mall, and the international community issues statements. Statements, as if words could stop bulldozers, as if condemnation means anything when contracts are already signed. Wilkerson knows better. He's watched it from inside the machine. The money flows, the orders filter down, and civilians become casualties, become statistics, become forgotten. Anti-consumerism isn't boutique. It isn't boycotting overpriced coffee while your tax dollars fund the bombs. U.S. military aid, $3.8 billion yearly, per State Department filings, buying the missiles, the blockades, the drones that turn civilians into collateral, and then into propaganda points for the evening news. Lockheed Martin stock up 12% post-strike. Raytheon feasts on F-35 parts. Your dollar doesn't just fund the war. It profits from it. That's not capitalism. That's necrophilia dressed in Brooks Brothers suiting. Trump's obfuscation, a masterclass in cognitive distortion. One bad word about Israel and you're out of politics. Today, one good word and you're out. Wishful thinking, Colonel notes, but the fracture's real. MAGA splintering like cheap IKEA shelves under actual weight. Polls from Rasmussen show 57% of young Republicans questioning endless aid. Bannon whispering little support under 30 into his paladin's ears. The base is bolting. Green's tweeting genocide, actual word, actual capital G accusation. Vance is fretting over starving kids in Ohio speeches. The cracks are showing because Gaza's impossible to hide anymore. The footage exists. The children exist. The famine exists. Midterms loom like a guillotine blade. Redistricting can't save you if the base walks. This isn't policy debate. It's survival calculus, and MAGA's doing the math. Anti-establishment truth. When even the fascists start questioning the war machine, something's breaking. Part 2. The Abbas irrelevance. When puppets outlive their strings. Abbas exists like a ghost who hasn't realized he's dead 90 years old, presiding over a PLO, so withered it's basically a committee of corpses. Wilkerson dismisses him with the brevity he deserves. Insignificant. Sinecure too great, not cruelty diagnosis. Abbas overstayed his 2009 term, should have left in 2009, didn't leave in 2015, won't leave in 2025. The Palestinian Legislative Council sits dormant for decades, stacked with cronies, and yes men who know their mortgage depends on their silence. April 2025. He crowns Hussein al-Sheikh vice president, no elections, no consultation. Stitch up succession, scripted like a third-rate dictatorship. Arafat 2.0, hoarding power like a miser with crumbs, sidelining anyone with actual ideas for pocket liners and pension plans. The PA isn't government. It's an administrative apparatus for occupation. Oslo's corpse, still shuffling forward, still pretending legitimacy matters when legitimacy's already flatlined. Communication with DC, a phone that rings to voicemail. Trump's crew ignores Abbas, eyes on the real power. Hamas allies, per Wilkerson's read. Anti-establishment truth. Abbas is the system's pet corpse, propped up to delegitimize any resistance worth having. Materialism's trap. Buy the moderate label, consume the mythology of two-state solutions. Ignore the famine trucks blocked at his door. Part 3. The hostage hell and imprisonment machinery, where legality becomes torture. Hamas cancels body handovers. 13 hostages remain, 2 American citizens reduced to bargaining chips, probabilities in a game neither side's playing for resolution. Rubio demands speed up, as if acceleration could substitute for humanity. Wilkerson roars, imbalance. Palestinians classified as subhuman, unlawful combatants. Terminology invented post 9/11 to make Geneva irrelevant, torture legal, annexation inevitable. Israel's detention system? HRW reports beatings, solitary confinement chambers, children in chains. Systematic, documented, normalized. Hamas gets the headline heat for rubble-buried remains, but the IDF's the architect. Anti-corporatism, black sites built by Halliburton subsidiaries, profits extracted from pain. Materialism's lie, your security gadgets, your biometric surveillance, your smart city initiatives, all funded by the same apparatus that perfects detention chambers. Ditch the Alexa, listen to the screams. Part 4. The Charlie Kirk premonition, when the system removes its accessories. Grew up where everything revolved around Israel. Trump mumbles, bluster, and obfuscation in equal measure. Power amazing. One ear listens to the erosion of his base. One ear hears the applause of Hampton's funders. And out his mouth comes word salad. Charlie Kirk, MAGA's vote whisperer. Second Thoughts Man, Turning Point Architect, September 10th, 2025. Utah Valley University, next shot, rifle ditched. Suspect Tyler James Robinson, nabbed 33 hours later, DNA on trigger. Premonition or execution, despicable on minorities. Sure, but rational on power. Kirk swung Trump's re-election. MAGA's financial medium. When a man starts questioning Israel aid while he's still bankrolling the operation, he becomes liability. Kirk's 2018 text surfaced in Owen's podcast. I might be Moses, might not see this revolution through. Wiped out at any time, dream about it all the time. Ghosts in the machine, premonitions in the tweets. Like King pivoting to Vietnam poverty rhetoric and catching a bullet, like Kennedy's mafia whispers in Dallas Rain. The pattern. Second thoughts get extracted like teeth. The system's allergic to awakenings, even minor ones. Turning Point confirms tech's real, but the investigation botch is worse than Warren's farce. Oswald Patsy 2.0, suspect too convenient evidence too clean. Chomsky nailed it decades ago. The nation couldn't handle the bullet coming from inside the machine. JFK from CA military mob intersection. Kirk from his own side of the room. Same script, MAGA edition. Despicable on minorities? Absolutely, but power rational. You don't kill inconvenient ideologues who stay in line. You kill the ones having second thoughts. Funders in the Hamptons abused him for daring to question Israel cash flow. Hampton's blade Owen screams. And just like that, another premonition becomes a corpse. Another conspiracy becomes next week's forgotten headline. Part 5, the midterm fracture, when the machine begins eating itself. GOP's redistricting crumbles under voter revolt. Johnson and Thune dream of supermajorities. Wake to nightmares. November elections loom, blue wave whispers, independence surges, the base simply leaving. MAGA's youth abandon ship. Bannon's siren song about little support under 30 becomes funeral dirge. Political scientists call it realignment. Tyler calls it the machine's first honest moment, the moment when the people remember they outnumber the apparatus. Insurrection Act whispers in Pentagon hallways. If cities boil, unleash forces, spark rebellion, seize control. Constitutional theater disguised as emergency protocol. Anti-establishment prophecy. Kirk's death the spark, Owen's the accelerant, midterms the reckoning. Be my David, she's slinging stones at Goliath's donors, and Goliath starting to bleed. Part, the high seas horror, extraterritorial execution as standard operating procedure. 50 dead, no names, no due process, no trial. Drones from CENTCOM Admiral's fleet, strikes approved in Pentagon cubicles. Bodies recovered in Mexican waters. Nobody claimed, nobody investigated. September 2nd, Venezuelan vessel. 11 alleged. Tren de Aragua Narcos, vaporized. HRW calls it extrajudicial massacre. Grandin, Gazalogic exported to Caribbean waters. October 27th, 4 Pacific boats, 14 dead, 1 survivor clinging to debris. Mexico's Navy shrugs after 96-hour farce. Butler's ghost howling. Racketeer for capitalism on 2 continents. Now 3 continents. Drones sinking boats. Sovereignty rendered irrelevant at 30,000 feet. Outlaw state. Domestic law shredded. Geneva quaint relic. Execution by algorithm normalized. Anti-corporatism. Cartels cover for endless war bucks. Lockheed's lobbyists script the strikes. Palantir data miners feed the coordinates. Some admiral pushes a button and children drown. All legal, all profitable, all invisible. Part 7. The SNAP cruelty starvation as policy implementation. November 6, 2025. Judge orders full SNAP funding. $8 billion tab. 42 million people at risk of losing benefits. Starvation coded as fiscal responsibility. Poverty gamified as political negotiation. 500,000 Palestinians in catastrophic food insecurity per IPC data. Half measures and bureaucratic delays while the machine decides how many can starve before the optics become unsustainable. Anti-materialism. What good's your flat screen when the system screen is blood red from endless war porn, endless hunger porn, endless manufactured scarcity in a world of abundance? You're fed the mythology of natural scarcity, resources limited, choices zero-sum, while silos overflow and dumpsters fill with waste. The starvation is chosen, the famine is administered, the poverty is profitable. Final synthesis. The documentary ends, the work begins. Wilkerson closes with a sentence that stops time. JFK's bullet came from his own people. Nation too fragile for that truth. Kirk's probe. Botched beyond Warren Commission standards. Accepted lie. Chomsky's shadow looming. Can't handle elites offing their own. Martin Luther King's Vietnam pivot to poverty. Bullet waiting. Kennedy's mafia CIA military trifecta. Unspoken. Kirk's second thoughts on Israel. Funders Hampton's beat down. Premonition deepened. Despicable on race. Sure, but power rational. MAGA's midwife, now silenced for straying. The system's warning signs flicker like faulty wiring about to spark. Gazas famine. Systematic. Snaps half measures, half-hearted. Abbas's irrelevance final. MAGA's shift seismic. High seas 50 ghosts barely reported. Butler's echo, unheeded. You're the disaster they're ignoring. Your premonition isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Your chains aren't fate, they're architecture. Anti all of it. Reject the feed. Reject the buy. Reject the bow. Hijack your narrative. Burn the script. Stop waiting for permission to cease compliance. Project Mayhem reboots. Lose it all, gain the world. Destroy the fake version and find what's underneath, not perfected, not optimized, not complete, just free.